Hello, health champions. What would happen if you stopped eating sugar for 30 days? And when I say sugar, I'm not just talking about table sugar. I mean anything sweet with calories. Honey, agave syrup, high fructose corn syrup, rice syrup, they all count. These sweeteners may sound natural or different, but at the core, they're all disaccharides, small molecules made of two linked sugars, usually glucose and fructose. And while their ratios vary, they behave quite similarly once inside your body. Glucose spikes your blood sugar and insulin, setting the stage for insulin resistance. Fructose, on the other hand, heads straight to the liver, clogs it up, and also contributes to insulin resistance, just through a different path. That's why cutting sugar is one of the most important health decisions you can make. But sugar isn't only found in sweet things. Starches, like bread, potatoes, and corn, break down into glucose just as fast. So, yes, that slice of toast can affect your blood sugar just like candy does. In the next few minutes, we're going to look at what happens when you give your body a break from sugar, the short term struggles, the long term healing, and the remarkable transformation that begins in your brain. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type "yo" to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Sugar, the silent enemy of aging. As we age, it's easy to blame our aches, fatigue, and foggy memory on just getting older. But what if one of the most powerful threats to your health wasn't time, but something far more controllable? Sugar? Sugar doesn't always come in obvious forms. It's not just cookies or candy. It's hidden in so-called healthy cereals, low-fat yogurts, crackers, breads, sauces, even the slice of toast that starts your morning. The moment it enters your body, sugar quietly triggers a biochemical storm. Your blood sugar spikes, insulin floods your system, and over time, you develop insulin resistance, a silent process that lays the groundwork for some of the most common illnesses we face after 60. Type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, memory loss, fatty liver, joint pain. These aren't random attacks from nature. They are the body's response to years of metabolic overload, and sugar is often the spark that sets the fire. Your body, once a finely tuned machine, becomes inflamed, sluggish, and overwhelmed. You start to lose the sharpness in your thinking, the lightness in your step, and even your joy in eating real food. But here's the truth: your age is not your fate. You have the power to interrupt this pattern. Removing sugar, even for just 30 days, can be the beginning of a reversal. Like stepping out of the fog, you begin to see how much clearer and lighter life can feel. The body is incredibly forgiving, even in our later years. It just needs a break from the assault. So, what happens when you actually stop eating sugar? The answer begins not with sweetness, but with struggle. Because in that first week, something surprising and transformational takes place. Let's explore week 1 without sugar, withdrawal and awakening, and why it might be the hardest yet most life-changing part of the journey. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Week 1 without sugar, withdrawal and awakening. The first week without sugar doesn't feel like healing. It feels like loss. For many older adults, sugar has been a lifelong companion, hidden in comfort foods, shared during celebrations, quietly woven into daily routines. So when you stop eating it, your body doesn't cheer. It protests. You may feel tired, irritable, even a little sad. There might be headaches, brain fog, and strong cravings that whisper just one bite. That's not weakness, it's chemistry. Sugar has been feeding your brain's dopamine reward system for decades. Just like nicotine or alcohol, it lights up the pleasure centers and keeps you coming back for more. Your brain has been conditioned to rely on sugar for quick energy and emotional relief. Without it, the body scrambles, unsure where to find fuel. This phase, uncomfortable as it may be, is where the most profound changes begin. As the fog of withdrawal sets in, your metabolism is quietly rebooting. Your insulin levels are dropping. Your body is learning how to access fat for energy, something it hasn't done efficiently in years. Deep inside, a quiet shift is happening. You're moving from dependency to balance. But the transformation isn't only physical, it's emotional and psychological. As the cravings pass, even just days in, many seniors report a sense of clarity returning. The mood swings soften. The constant snacking urge fades. Hunger becomes less urgent, more natural. And perhaps most surprisingly, you start to feel in control again. That first spark of confidence is powerful because it tells you, yes, I can do this. Yet this is only the beginning. What happens next isn't just about less sugar, it's about a better brain, sharper focus, and brighter mood. In the days ahead, something remarkable starts to happen in the very center of your mind. Let's step into that next chapter. A clearer brain, a calmer mind. What happens to your mood and memory? 3. A clearer brain, a calmer mind. What happens to your mood and memory? Something remarkable begins to happen after just a few days without sugar. Something you don't expect. It's not just that your body feels lighter. Your mind begins to wake up. Many seniors live with a quiet fog in their thinking. Forgetfulness, lack of focus, anxious thoughts, or a subtle sense of sadness are often chalked up to just getting older. But much of that mental cloudiness may actually be the result of chronically unstable blood sugar, constant inflammation, and a brain that's been overstimulated by sugar for decades. Sugar hijacks your brain's reward pathways. It gives you a burst of pleasure, then quickly takes it away, leaving behind exhaustion, irritability, and mental fatigue. But as you remove sugar from your diet, the brain gets a break from this constant high-low cycle, and in its place comes something extraordinary: stability. Your thoughts begin to feel sharper. You remember words more easily. You feel less overwhelmed by small stressors. And beneath it all, there's a quiet calm, an emotional steadiness that many haven't felt in years. This is because the brain's chemistry starts to shift. As insulin resistance declines, more energy reaches your brain. And as blood sugar stabilizes, your brain becomes less reactive, less anxious, and more present. Even your emotional resilience improves. Seniors often report feeling less depressed, more patient, and more hopeful. Without sugar blunting your emotional balance, the ups and downs even out. Your brain, now free from chaos, begins to repair. It starts to thrive. And here's the most beautiful part. It's not just your mind that benefits. These changes ripple outward to your sleep, your relationships, and even your physical health. But there's one more surprise waiting for you, something most people never expect when they give up sugar. Because now your body is finally ready to burn fat, not store it. Let's talk about that next in Less Hunger, More Energy, the truth about fat burning after 60. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now, let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Less hunger, more energy. The truth about fat burning after 60. For years, many seniors have been told that fatigue, weight gain, and low energy are simply signs of aging. But the truth is more hopeful and far more empowering. Much of the heaviness you feel, both in your body and in your mind, isn't age, it's insulin. When you eat sugar, your insulin rises. And when insulin is high, it tells your body to store fat, not burn it. It locks fat away like money in a vault, unreachable, no matter how little you eat or how much you walk. That's why so many older adults feel trapped, always tired, always hungry, yet never losing weight. But when you stop eating sugar, your body begins to unlock that vault. Just days into your sugar free journey, insulin levels begin to drop. Your metabolism recalibrates. Suddenly, you're not running on quick bursts of energy from sugar. You're tapping into the deep, steady fuel of stored fat. For many seniors, this is the first time in decades that their bodies start burning fat efficiently again. It's not just about weight loss, it's about freedom. You begin to feel energized in the morning instead of groggy. You can go hours between meals without feeling faint or shaky. You feel stable. And perhaps most striking of all, your hunger quiets down. Not because you're eating less, but because your body no longer panics without sugar. When your metabolism is balanced, hunger becomes gentle, not urgent. Food becomes nourishment, not a fix. You begin to realize this is how it was always meant to feel: calm energy, gentle appetite, a body that finally feels like it's working with you, not against you. But what about your heart? What happens to your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your risk of stroke? What if the very things your doctor warned you about could start to reverse, not with pills, but with food? That's exactly what we'll uncover next in A Healthier Heart: why your numbers improve without sugar. 5. A Healthier Heart: why your numbers improve without sugar. Your heart has been working hard for decades, beating over 100,000 times a day, every day of your life. But if you've lived much of that life consuming sugar in all its hidden forms, your heart has likely been doing more than just pumping blood. It's been fighting inflammation, pressure, and imbalance day in and day out. Most people think heart disease is only about fat or cholesterol, but the real story is more complex and more hopeful. Sugar, especially when consumed daily, does far more damage than most realize. It inflames blood vessels, spikes triglycerides, and raises insulin, which in turn stiffens arteries and raises blood pressure. Over time, this silent war leads to blocked arteries, heart attacks, and strokes. Not because your heart is weak, but because it's under siege. Now, imagine giving your heart a break. When you stop eating sugar, even for just 30 days, the shift is almost immediate. Inflammation begins to subside. Your blood pressure stabilizes. Triglyceride levels drop, even if you're eating more healthy fats. The body is no longer converting excess sugar into fat that circulates in your blood, coating your arteries. Instead, it starts clearing the backlog. Many seniors who commit to this simple change are stunned by their follow-up lab results: lower fasting glucose, improved A1C, better cholesterol ratios, and stronger heart rhythms. But perhaps more important than any number is how it feels: less pounding in your chest, fewer dizzy spells, deeper, more restful sleep, a sense of vitality returning, gently, steadily. And this isn't just about the heart. When sugar is removed, the liver also begins its quiet repair, reversing years of hidden damage. Because inside every older adult is a younger system waiting to be awakened. Let's discover that next in A Lighter Liver: how sugar fuels fatty liver disease and how to reverse it. 6. A Lighter Liver: how sugar fuels fatty liver disease and how to reverse it. Your liver is one of the most quietly heroic organs in your body. It filters toxins, manages hormones, balances blood sugar, and stores nutrients, all without complaint. But it also has its limits. For many older adults, Years of consuming sugar, especially hidden forms like high fructose corn syrup, have slowly overwhelmed the liver, leading to a condition few notice until it becomes serious: non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This isn't caused by alcohol, it's caused by excess sugar, especially fructose, which is processed directly by the liver. When sugar floods the system, your liver is forced to convert it into fat. Over time, this fat builds up, layer upon layer, until the liver becomes sluggish, inflamed, and heavy. You might not feel it at first, but it often shows up as fatigue, belly weight that won't budge, brain fog, and eventually abnormal liver function tests. But here's the hopeful truth: the liver can regenerate. It is one of the few organs in the body that, given the right environment, can actually heal itself. And the first, most powerful step is to stop feeding it sugar. Within weeks of quitting sugar, your liver begins to clear out the fat. Inflammation starts to resolve. Enzyme levels improve. That dull feeling in your body starts to lift. You begin to feel lighter, not just in weight, but in energy, in movement, even in your mood. And for many, this is the turning point where they begin to realize they are not too old to heal. Their bodies are still capable of remarkable renewal. But the story doesn't end here. Sugar doesn't just damage organs, it also disrupts the body's natural defenses. So what happens to your immune system when you cut sugar out of your life? You may be surprised by just how deeply your immune strength is tied to the sweetness on your plate. Let's explore this powerful connection next in Immunity Rebuilt: Why Sugar Weakens Your Defenses and How to Get Them Back. 7. Immunity Rebuilt: Why Sugar Weakens Your Defenses and How to Get Them Back. As we grow older, our immune system naturally becomes less efficient. Cuts take longer to heal. Colds linger, and our risk for serious illness rises. But what most people don't realize is that sugar silently accelerates this decline, weakening the very system designed to protect us. Every time you eat sugar, your immune system slows down for hours. White blood cells, the soldiers that defend against infection, become sluggish and less responsive. Inflammation rises, clouding communication between immune cells. Over time, this chronic inflammation fueled by sugar becomes the breeding ground for serious conditions: heart disease, cancer, autoimmune disorders, even poor outcomes from infections like COVID-19. And while this damage builds slowly, the good news is that recovery can begin quickly. Within just days of removing sugar from your diet, inflammation begins to ease. Your white blood cells start to function more efficiently. Your body begins to fight back with renewed strength, and you begin to feel it, not just as fewer sick days, but as something deeper: resilience. For many seniors, this renewed resilience brings unexpected peace of mind. You're no longer bracing for the next illness. You feel stronger from within, less fragile, more grounded. It's as if your body is finally remembering how to protect you again. And yet, immunity is just one part of the story. Sugar doesn't just erode defenses, it also ages the joints, the bones, and the very structure that carries you through life. Imagine a life with less pain, easier movement, and joints that feel years younger. That's the next surprise waiting for you. So let's take the next step and explore stronger joints, less pain, how ditching sugar helps you move freely again. 8. Stronger joints, less pain, how ditching sugar helps you move freely again. For many older adults, joint pain feels like an unavoidable part of aging. Morning stiffness, aching knees, sore hips. These discomforts can slowly take away your ability to move with ease, to enjoy a walk, or even climb stairs without hesitation. But what if the pain isn't just age? What if what you're eating is quietly fueling the fire? Sugar is deeply inflammatory. Each time you consume it, even in small amounts, it triggers low-grade inflammation throughout the body. Over time, that inflammation settles into your joints, especially those already worn by decades of use. The result? Swelling, stiffness, and pain that seems to come from nowhere, but never fully goes away. And the more sugar you eat, the more those inflammatory signals build, turning everyday movement into a burden. But when you take sugar out of your diet, the change can be profound. As inflammation drops, pressure inside the joints begins to ease, tissues that were irritated begin to calm, and the stiffness that once greeted you each morning starts to fade, replaced by a surprising lightness. For some, it's the first time in years they've walked without discomfort or risen from a chair without wincing. Even more importantly, you begin to trust your body again. You move more because it feels good, not because you're forcing it. And the more you move, the more blood flow and nutrients reach your joints, supporting further healing. It becomes a cycle of renewal rather than one of breakdown. But joint pain is only one piece of the story, because after 30 days without sugar, something remarkable happens, not just in how you feel, but in how you think. Your relationship with food, cravings, and even pleasure itself begins to transform. So let's look at what might surprise you most. The sweet taste reset, how your cravings fade and your taste for real food comes alive. 9. A new life after 30 days without sugar. Something begins to shift around day 30, not just in your body, but in the way you see yourself. What once felt impossible now feels like a quiet strength. The cravings that used to control you no longer hold the same power. The constant fog in your mind lifts. Your energy feels more stable. And for the first time in a long time, your body begins to feel like a place of healing rather than struggle. You may have started this journey simply to lose a few pounds or manage your blood sugar, but what you gain is far more meaningful. You gain clarity. You gain peace in your joints. You regain trust in your choices and in your body's ability to change, even after 60, 70, or 80 years of habit. Because no matter how old you are, your body still responds to care. Your labs might now tell a different story: lower A1C, improved cholesterol ratios, better blood pressure. But even more powerful than those numbers is what you feel: freedom. Freedom from energy crashes, freedom from dependency, freedom from the belief that decline is inevitable. And as your taste buds begin to reset, something beautiful happens. You start to rediscover food. Real food. The sweet crunch of a fresh apple, the richness of roasted vegetables, the satisfying calm that follows a balanced meal. The overstimulation of sugar no longer numbs your senses. Instead, your body begins to crave nourishment, not escape. This is no longer about giving something up. It's about reclaiming something that was always yours: your vitality, your presence, your joy in living. Aging doesn't mean fading. With each choice you make to support your health, you write a new story, one of strength, renewal, and quiet confidence. So, what comes after these 30 days? That choice is yours. But now, you know something you didn't before. You're not stuck. You're not too old. And it's never too late to feel better than you thought possible. All it takes is one decision and the courage to see it through. Actionable advice for you. If you've made it this far, something inside you is already ready for change. Maybe it's the desire to feel better, move easier, sleep deeper, or maybe it's simply the wish to live the years ahead with more strength and less fear. Whatever your reason, know this: you are not too old to change, and your body hasn't stopped hoping for healing. Starting a 30-day sugar-free journey isn't about punishment. It's not a fad or a crash diet. It's a quiet promise you make to yourself to care more deeply for your health, your mind, and your future. And the best part? You don't have to do it all at once. Begin with small, steady steps that build momentum over time. Start by removing the obvious sugar first: sodas, candy, pastries, cookies, sweetened drinks. These do the most damage, and cutting them will make the biggest difference. Read food labels carefully. Sugar hides under many names: corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, cane juice, and sneaks into sauces, cereals, even diet or low fat products. Eat real food. Choose vegetables, high quality proteins like fish, eggs, and lean meats, and healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, and nuts. These nourish your body instead of draining it. You don't have to go hungry. Eat when you're truly hungry, but feed your body with the right fuel. Once your system adapts, you'll notice that your hunger becomes more gentle, less urgent. Move a little each day. You don't need to run or lift weights. A walk around the block, light stretching, gentle yoga, whatever feels good. Movement sends a signal to your brain: I'm alive and I'm healing. Most importantly, be patient and kind with yourself. There may be hard days. You might slip. That's okay. This isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Every time you say no to sugar, you say yes to your future. And with each passing day, that future becomes stronger, clearer, and more vibrant. So start today, not with pressure or fear, but with hope, because your body still remembers how to heal. And there is still so much life left for you to enjoy, awake, alive, and free. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.